Yo, what's up? Bringing you that MLB Show 17. So we finally made our decision for which franchise we are going to choose, and that's going to be the Miami Marlins. So we had a lot of good choices to pick from, and I'll tell you a little bit why I chose the Marlins. So from the other choices we had the Yankees, the Diamondbacks, the Reds, the Phillies, the Twins, and the Marlins. So those were the six that I saw the most from the comments, and I went with the top three that you guys listed. So the top three ended up being the Marlins, the Yankees, and the Twins. I did like the Diamondbacks. If the Diamondbacks were in the top three, I probably would have went with that team. But with the three guys listed, I was 99% about to pick the Yankees. The Yankees have a nice young team, and they have a great farm system. Then I thought, they already have 27 championships. I don't need to build a dynasty with that team. They've already lived through that. They don't need it right now. So then it became between the Marlins and the Twins, and the real factor was trying to rebuild the team. And you might say the Twins, they're a younger team, they need more rebuilding. But when I was looking at the Marlins, they already have a nice star player. They have Giancarlo Stanton, and they have other young players like Christian Yelich, Dee Gordon, Marcell Ozuna. So they have a nice core to build around. But the biggest challenge with the Marlins is that they don't have a good farm system. They're ranked last in the major leagues with their farm system, and that's kind of the challenge I wanted. I want to rebuild that farm system. We're going to try to make that into one of the best farm systems within this first season or two. However long it takes, that's going to be the main focus. So between the Marlins and the Twins, that is why I swayed towards the Marlins. So now taking a look at the owner expectations. The yearly goal is to reach the postseason. The contract goal is to win a division series. We have a $139 million budget. And looking at our team rankings, we're ranked 17th overall. This doesn't really matter. But what I want to show out of this is the pitching. We're ranked 23rd in pitching. That's going to be our main focus, to build a solid pitching rotation with this first season. Maybe going into the second. That's going to be the main focus. But without further ado, let's get this started. Welcome to the Marlins. So we want to have control of everything right now. So coaching task, we want manual. Scouting and drafting, we want manual because we're going to be scouting, and I do want to go through the draft myself. And then the rest of the stuff, general manager task, we might change this later on, but right now we'll switch it to manual. So for right now, I'm going to start at spring training. I don't think I'm going to play any of the spring training games, but we're going to start here just so we can look at our overall team and see what kind of moves we got to do for the first month and then going into the regular season. So let's take a look at our major league roster. We might have to make some changes. There might be players in AAA and AA that we should call up. But for right now, we have Giancarlo Stanton, our right fielder, pretty much our centerpiece of this team. And hopefully he will be that centerpiece for years to come. He's definitely the player we want to build around. And hopefully with him on the team, we can win a World Series. I did think about trading him, but I don't think that will happen in the first couple of years. He has to really digress in order for that to happen. But I was thinking if we can get 5 quality prospects for him or something like that, he could be expendable, but not anytime soon. Our second baseman, Dee Gordon, solid player right here. Nice speed, good contact. For right now, I think he's staying put. We have our center fielder, Christian Yelich, a nice young player. Another player we're pretty much going to be building around. Him and Stanton, I feel like, are the centerpieces of this team. Next, we have Berrecloth, our relief pitcher. 26 years old, 580,000 contract, so a nice contract to have for right now. The potential doesn't look like it's there, but we'll have to see how he does in this season. Next, we have AJ Ramos, 2.3 million contract, which is fair. B potential, so hopefully he can be a good closer for us, and if not, just a good bullpen pitcher for us. We got first baseman Justin Bour, another nice contract to have. The potential, we'll work on that. But right now, if he can have a good season, he can definitely stay on this team. Now we got left fielder Marcell Ozuna, another player I feel like we can build around. 26 years old, B potential, which is pretty nice, and a good contract. So he's another player I'm looking for to be a part of that centerpiece with Stanton and Yelich. We have another relief pitcher in Junichi Tazawa, 30 years old. Kind of a high contract, I feel. $6 million for him might be a lot. C potential, he might be expendable. Now we got starting pitcher Edinson Volquez, kind of a veteran on this team, 4.3 million contract, which I think is fair for him. I don't think the potential's there anymore because he's kind of getting there in age. But for a season or two, I think he'll be a good fit for the team. At third base, we have another veteran in Martin Prado, $13 million. I think that's a big contract for him, so we might be looking to trade him during this first season or within the first 2 seasons. We have another starting pitcher in Wei-Yin Chen, 31 years old, and a $3.5 million contract. So I feel like this is an all right contract for him. It all depends on how he performs during this first season. At shortstop, we have Varia, a young player, still has potential, $4.3 million contract. I feel like that's fair for him, and hopefully he can be part of that centerpiece also. I feel like he's young enough that he has potential to become a better player. At catcher, we have JT Realmuto, another young player, 26 years old, a nice contract at $560,000. So we'll see how he does in the first season. We have relief pitcher Brad Ziegler, a veteran on this team, 37 years old, $8 million. Actually, I think is a lot for him, but like I said, he's a veteran. He won't be on the team for that long, and he could be someone that we trade during this first season. Next, we have starting pitcher Tom Koehler, 30 years old, $5.7 million contract. Now, the starting pitching is where we really want to revamp it, so we'll see how he does during this season, but starting pitching is our main focus point and what we really want to revamp during this process. Another relief pitcher in David Phelps, 30 years old, $4.6 million contract. Fair right there. Next, we got Adam Conley, another starting pitcher, 26 years old, a good contract to have, very cheap, and see potential. So we'll see how he does. A lot of the players, we have to see how they perform during this first season and see how their potential changes throughout the year. Another starting pitcher in Dan Straley, 28 years old, another good contract for us. And once again, we'll see how he does. Next, we got right fielder Ichiro Suzuki. Honestly, my favorite player. So 43 years old. I don't know why he has a potential, but a $2 million contract, I think that's very fair for him. You know, he's going to be our veteran on our team. And I feel like as long as we run this franchise and as long as he stays in the majors, we'll keep him on this team for that veteran presence, even though it might not have that much effect on our young players. We're going to keep him on this team as long as he wants to be. We got first baseman Derek Dietrich, 27 years old, $1.7 million contract, and I think he'll be able to contend with Bour. We have catcher AJ Ellis, 35 years old, more of a veteran type catcher, and he'll be able to give Realmuto some rest here and there. We got starting pitcher Jose Urena, 25 years old. See potential, which, you know, that's something we got to work towards, but a nice contract, and hopefully he can develop into a solid pitcher for us. We got shortstop Miguel Rojas, 28 years old, a good contract for us. But right now, as you can see, a lot of the potential for our players is C, and that's not what we want. We want to get players that have potential B and up. That's what we're going to be working towards. We have relief pitcher Dustin McGowan, 35 years old, veteran type of pitcher for us in the bullpen, and a fair contract. And then finally, we have relief pitcher Nick Whitgren, 25 years old, and a good contract. But let's look at our AAA and AA rosters. So taking a look at our AAA roster, we have Brian Ellington, 26 years old, and maybe a good relief pitcher for us that we can bring up during the season. We have Vance Worley, who has pitched in the majors before, Despaigne, and Tyler Moore. So the rest of these players don't really strike me as anyone that big to look after. But looking at the potential, none of them have that high potential that we're looking for. A lot of C potential, and we're going to have a lot of work to do as far as that goes. Looking at our AA roster, once again, no one really strikes us as someone that has great potential. We have Jarlin Garcia here with a B potential. Hopefully he can develop into a good starting pitcher and we can bring him up slowly into the majors. But looking at the rest of the team, it looks like we have C and D potential. So like I said, the farm system is going to be one of our major focuses during this franchise, and we're going to try to build on that. We'll take a look at our Class A roster also. We have Jeff Locke. I didn't even know he's on this team. So he's a player we can maybe bring up to the major leagues. He's a veteran pitcher. We have Braxton Garrett, A potential. Hopefully he is a player that can develop. I feel like if he has that A potential in a couple years, he can make it to the majors for us and be part of that centerpiece, hopefully. We do need starting pitcher, so we'll keep an eye on him. And then the rest of the team, C and D potential. But like I said, scouting and drafting is where we're going to try to build this team. I think the focus for that is going to be pitching. During the scouting process and draft, we're going to focus on pitching. We'll get a couple hitters here and there, but that's the team right now. That's our roster, and we're going to try to make it into a contender, try to rebuild a little bit. We have some solid pieces to work around, and we're going to do our best to make it into the playoffs in our first season. But that right there is our team overview. We'll take a look at some other stuff in the next episode and maybe jump into a spring training game. I'm not really sure what we're going to do yet as far as how much we play and whatnot, but that is it for the first episode of our Marlins franchise. Stay tuned for more. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'm out.